The pandemic has changed many aspects, really, of our lives, including how we practice religion. Around the world, religious leaders are taking drastic measures, like cancelling worship services and closing holy sites, really in an effort to contain the spread of the virus. Well, earlier I spoke to the lead pastor of one of South Korea's largest Presbyterian churches, along with my colleague Cyril Vanier, to see how his church is adapting as the virus spreads. Take a listen. Reverend, thanks again for being with us. I believe your church has begun to live stream services. How hard of a decision was that? I mean, these are pretty unprecedented times.
Yes. A lot of my friends have told me that, they have never experienced something like this before. And as a church, we also can say the same thing, that we have never experienced something like this, and decision to move services online was actually very difficult for us, but at the same time very easy for us because we are considering the community's safety first, and also we are considering our members' health, and that's why we decided to move the services online. And although it has some difficulties and challenges, I think the church members are doing well, and they're attending services at their home and at their working places, so it's been doing pretty well.
Let's talk about the impact the outbreak has had. We've seen it right across all levels of society. How are you hoping to recover from this, from a monetary aspect, also the optics, what we've seen, given the Shincheonji religious group who infected one another and clearly were not very transparent? How do you get over this?
We actually were one of the first mega churches in Korea to be affected by this coronavirus because our associate pastor was tested for positive, and that created a lot of fear in the community and within ourselves as well. So we took all the measures possible to prevent this virus spread again in this area, and also, to protect our members and community. But I can say that we're very different from Shincheonji because they're very secretive. But we're very transparent in terms of our membership and how we conduct our faith. So I think we're very positive about, because in Korea, at least, we're seeing some decline in numbers of infected. And churches are trying to see how we can rebound from this huge outbreak and huge damage that has done to a lot of different aspects of society.
And I wonder, Reverend, and I may be way off base here, but has this hardship, has this episode tested the faith of anybody within your community who may have wondered, why is this happening?
Okay, that's, I think, a very good question. At the same time, very deep question. In the past, for example, when we see somebody die, when we see something bad happening, we usually question ourselves, what's the meaning of this? But at this point, I think there's no such question because everybody is going through this difficult time. And we're not trying to be too theological about this issue. We're not saying that we sin against God. That's why this, epidemic is upon us. We're trying to keep away from that kind of discussion at this point.
And Reverend, finally, when do you think that you will be that things will return to normal there?
Hopefully, because we're seeing, like I said before, we're seeing some decline in number of infected people here in Korea. That I'm looking at, like, just before summer, that the numbers will go down dramatically. But the recovery will take a lot of time, especially for churches. I think that we'll have maybe from a few months from now, we'll have 50% of people coming back to church, and then 60%, 70%. If we'll make the full recovery, that I'm not really sure. But I am still hopeful for using different platforms to work with our members and also be a healthy church.
Thank you so much to Hannah Kim for taking time to speak to us here on CNN. I want to take you back to China, where the pandemic